Good afternoon, everybody. This is Chad from UtvWindowTint.com. I'm just going to do a voiceover on a 2022 and a half and 2023 new style Can-Am Defender, that how to install window tint kits on the side windows. Here is a walk around of the 2023 Can-Am Defender that Hexaco Motorsports out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin allowed us to film. So thank you very much. Their information will be at the end. You'll see Travis standing in the back there, but just your run-of-the-mill Can-Am Defender from 2023. This is the new style. So there's three windows, three pieces of glass on the front door. Here's what your kit will look like when you get from UtvWindowTint.com. Everything will be rolled up in the box. There'll be more packing material, of course. Travis is going to show you the roll. Each roll has two parts to it. The one is a clear liner that just keeps the adhesive clean, and then the window film, of course, itself. The liner is just going to, the adhesive side is going to go right on the liner. Here's the exterior clean of the machine. Travis is just using regular glass cleaner, aerosol glass cleaner to clean the outside. He's going to use the outside windows kind of as a peel board, but again, cleanliness is very important anytime you're doing any kind of window tinting job, so keep an eye on your cleanliness. Make sure you clean all your gaskets. This is a brand new machine. You might not have one. Clean is the name of the game. If you think it's clean, clean it a couple more times. We'll go right into Travis doing the driver's side wing window. What you're going to see is you're going to see the tint on the inside of the main window, the roll down window on the driver's side. He's just got it stuck right there, so it's not down on the ground or anything. You don't have to do that. We're going to see Travis clean this wing window real quick here with some soapy water out of a keg. He's using a professional keg. You can see it on the right in the background on the floor there. It just holds a couple gallons of soapy water. And he's going to take a single edge razor blade, go around the outsides, cleaning in between the glass and the gaskets, getting in under that gasket as far as you can, but cleaning any grit off the window that you can. When you're doing this, you'll actually be able to hear this. You'll actually hear the grit coming off the window itself, but just see him spray some soapy water on there. He's going to get the razor blade back out, single edge razor blade, clean in between the gaskets and the glass itself, go around the outsides, go around the inside, get as much dirt out of there as possible. Make sure everything is clean. Again, clean is the name of the game. And he's going to put a little bit more soapy water on there. Don't be afraid to use soapy water. You see it dripping off the door panel there. That's okay. He's got a blue Scotch-Brite plastic scrubby pad. He's going to scrub that glass just to make sure everything is as clean as possible. And you can see the soapy water doing its job there, just cleaning a little bit. Here he comes back. He's just going to squeegee that dirty water right out of there. Again, he's using a professional squeegee. We sell a similar product on our website. You can take a look at that and add that to your order. And then he's just going to add a little bit more soapy water, get some more dirty water out of there. Again, clean the name of game. You'll see the water dripping off the door panel right now. Nothing to worry about. This machine is a brand new machine, but had to be cleaned, yet to be delivered. And he's going to peel the liner off. Now he's got the adhesive side facing him, and he's going to take this triangle and he's going to put it right on the glass there. The trick to this piece is to get the pointy end of the top side in first. You see him slide it in a little bit there and just kind of work it with his hands, and then just tuck it in under the gaskets on all the sides. The bottom gaskets on these 2023s, you will need a hard card, as it's called, or some sort of plastic device to get the gaskets down. You'll see that a little bit later. Travis uses what's called a hard card to kind of get that gasket out so he can slide the window tint down in there. But now he's just positioning that front wing window with where he wants it. He's got it sprayed with soapy water. He's going to spray the outside as some lubricant. He's going to grab his squeegee here as soon as he can find it, and he's going to squeegee the water out from in between the film and the door, the glass itself, so that it is permanent and it is there. At this point, he's just going to make sure he's got all the water out, and there, right there, you've got a wing window that you had tinted on your 2022 and a half or newer Can-Am Defender yourself. Coming back in, this is the rear window on the front driver's side. You'll see he's got stuck to the main window there. He's just going to spray some soapy water on the outside, and he's just going to squeegee it. So he's going to anchor it to the glass so that he can peel the backing off, the liner, the clear liner. See, he's demonstrating it doesn't move there. He's going to peel the clear liner off the back after he gets done cleaning this window, and I'll tell you about that in a second here. But he's going to do the same exact thing that he did with the front wing window. He's going to do this to all the windows. This is going to be a common theme. You're going to see him spray some soapy water on there. You're going to see him hit it with the single edge razor blade. You're going to see him hit it with the scrubby pad. This is all going to be in real time. I know that he works fast, but this is all filmed in real time. So it took me about a similar amount of time to tint my own machine, and I am not a window tinter. If you have talked to me on the phone, I'll be open and honest with anybody to tell them that. But Travis is a professional here, and you can see him taking that razor blade again, just cleaning all the grit, whatever he can off of that glass to make sure there's no dirt in between the window and the film itself. You'll be able to see that when the window film's on there. Now, personally, on my machine, I do have a little bit of grit in between mine when I did mine myself. It's not something that bothers me, and it didn't turn out nearly as bad as I had thought it would be. I do have, when I tinted mine, my machine's 2 years old at this point, so, you know, it wasn't brand new. It wasn't sitting in a showroom at a dealership or anything when it was done. I did mine in my driveway, as a matter of fact. But you're going to want to find someplace that's not windy, that's dust-free as possible. The name of the game, keep it clean. I know I keep saying that, but that's the trick. He's going to peel that outside liner off so the adhesive is facing him, and he's spraying the adhesive side with the soapy water. Then he's going to peel it off and try to touch the adhesive as little as possible. He's going to put it on the window. He's going to make sure that the edges do not touch his window gaskets or the outside, because that might get contaminants in the film and not allow it to stick, or it might show up a little bit later. See that white tool in his right hand? That's what's called a hard card. You're going to need something similar that won't scratch the tint, something plastic, won't scratch a tint, scratch your window, or damage your machine, just to get that lower gasket there out. A little bit so you can slide the tint in there. He's making sure it's positioned correctly so that he can slide it. There's no gaps around the edges or anything. I've got close-up video a little bit later here. You'll see that there's no gaps on anything. He's going to spray the outside. That's going to give him a lubricant, so when he squeegees, he's not going to scratch the tint at all. Otherwise, you know, that will show up as well too. That'll be something that's visible. He's going to squeegee all the water out in between the tint and the glass, and it'll be permanent on there as soon as that dries. It might take you a couple days to dry, just giving you a heads up. Roll down windows, be very careful. Don't use your roll down windows for a couple of days. Easy. If it's cold outside, don't use your roll down windows for longer. Now we're moving to the front driver's side roll down window. There he's holding it up to make sure it's the correct one. He's got the liner facing him so that he knows the position is correct. He's going to spray the outside of the rear window and use it like a peel board. He's just going to kind of tack it on there with his hands real lightly, just so he's got somewhere to work with. He's not setting it down on a dirty surface. He's still got the liner on it. He's going to spray the outside, and he's going to tack it down a little bit. Just squeegee some water out so that that window film is stuck to one of his rear windows. This is something that's kind of optional. You can do it if you'd like to. I personally didn't do it. It works very well. I would recommend doing it, but you'll see it sticking right there. Now he's going to let that hang. He's going to get his hard card. He's going to open up the bottom gasket there and spray some soapy water down in there. He's trying to get all the contaminants off that gasket, your driver's window being the culprit with most of your debris, but you're going to see him take his single edge razor blade. Again, this isn't sped up. This is real time. He just got Travis has a crazy quick right arm. You see him with that single edge razor blade. You don't mess with Travis and the single edge razor blade when it comes to window cleaning. You see the water flying all over the place. Yeah, he's a machine when it comes to cleaning windows. He also owns Mr. Detail, so I mean, there's that. He's adamant. If you see a shirt right there, there's a good plug for Mr. Detail. He's going to roll the driver's side window down just a little bit. He wants to get that top edge. He's going to clean that top edge to make sure that there's no contaminants on that top edge. He's going to, again, check his gaskets and make sure everything's good there. See, there's a top edge. He's just going to wipe it with a rag real quick and make sure that's all clean and good to go. And a little bit more. He's going to clean it some more. Coming back with a razor blade. Did I mention that you should really clean the glass on your machine really well? There he goes with the single edge razor blade just going around, getting all the surface area of the inside of that glass that he can get. He's going to make sure that he gets in between the gaskets and the glass again, similar to he did with the front wing window, the front triangle, and the rear piece of glass on this door. He's coming back with his soapy water and hitting it with a squeegee, similar squeegee that we sell on the website. He's just making sure all the contaminants are coming off that glass, squeegeeing all that, what you would call dirty water off of that glass right there. Then he's going to spray it one more time, and now he's got the whole driver's side roll down window saturated with soapy water. He's going to come to the outside, and I'll move the camera around here in a second, but he's going to remove the white liner, so he's spraying the adhesive side of the front roll down driver's window. There you see it. He's going to leave the liner on the bottom and just have the top portion, top 3/4 of that liner, that window film exposed. He's going to bring it around. He's going to put it right onto his glass. So he's got the adhesive side with water on it. He's got the glass side with water on it. There's quite a bit of water. He's going to line it. You can see there's a little bit of a gap there. He's got to line it a little bit more. He's going to squeegee it to anchor it, just to hold it where he needs to. But you're going to want a little bit of a gap up there, not too much, 1/4 inch, you know, half an inch might be a little too much, but 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch is good. When you roll your window up, the gasket will cover up. There'll be no gaps there. But now, Travis, you can see the small little gap there at the top of the window. He's got the film exactly where he wants it. You can move it around because of the soapy water, but when you squeegee it, you're removing that soapy water. Now he's going to roll the window up. You can see on the right corner, you see the bubble on the right corner of the window. He just didn't have it in the gasket a little bit. It didn't crease on him. Not a big deal. Roll the window down. You slide the tint back up. This is GeoShield Professional Tint. It takes quite a bit of abuse and still, it's like the Timex of window tint. Okay, let's just put it that way. So once he's got the window tint tucked into the gasket there, he's going to roll the window up and then remove the rest of the liner and stick the bottom 1/4 or the bottom half of that tint to the glass. So now it's up. You see the window liner hang there full of water, soapy water there. He's going to spray a little bit more water in there. Just want to make sure everything's wet, everything's soaked. I accidentally sprayed that window there, but we have to wipe this whole machine down when we're done anyways, so not a big deal. He's going to hold the window tint with his hand and pull the liner down and away from the tint itself, and then you can see here he's going to tuck it. In Travis's mouth, his hand right now, is what would be called a hard card. It's just a plastic instrument. Again, I talked about it earlier, but these gaskets are very, very difficult. You're going to need some sort of tool to get in there where you can kind of get that gasket away from the door, the glass a little bit, and you can tuck it down in there like he just did. And then he's going to lubricate the outside of the window with soapy water, the outside of the tint, excuse me, and then he's going to squeegee the rest of it out, and he will have his window, his driver's side roll down window tinted. Again, leave that window alone 2, 3, 4 days. If it's cold out, be longer. If it's warm out, you can probably wait 2 or 3 days, but do not move that window. You're going to just mess up the tint. So leave that right where it is. You'll see him do one final squeegee after he lubricates the window tint itself, just to make sure he's got all the bubbles out, make sure his edges are good. He's going to double and triple check his gaskets to make sure that he's got everything lined up and everything. There's no gaps, there's no light that's going to shine through. And here we're moving to the driver's rear roll down window. Travis is going to show you that cutout right there. He's going to hold the tint up. You see the cutout? The liner is facing out. That's the way you want to make sure you've got the correct piece out of the box. Here you can see he sprayed the front driver's side window before we had tinted it, and he's just putting it up there. He's going to put some lubricant on the outside there, just the soapy water, squeegee it to the front window so that it kind of holds, because later he's going to peel that liner off. Remember, the liner is facing him, so the adhesive side of the tint is out. I skipped all the cleaning, but don't skip your cleaning. You just didn't need to see it anymore. You see him spray the window with soapy water. Then he's going to peel the lining so the adhesive is exposed and spray the adhesive side of that window as well. He's only going to peel that liner about 3/4 of the way down, as you can see. He's going to grab that, but he's going to not try to touch the adhesive side as much as he can. He's going to put that on the window, being careful not to touch the edges of the window with the film, to get the edges of the gaskets with that film to make sure there's no contaminants in there. He's going to position his film at the top where he needs to. He's got it rolled down a few inches so that he can get to that top and make sure that the gap at the top is correct. and he's just going to go and smooth it out a little bit. You can see him kind of positioning it. When he gets it set, he will get his squeegee out and he will anchor the top of that to the glass so it won't move around on him. He's going to put a little soapy water on the outside for lubricant. Really important. Make sure you don't scratch that tint. It is just plastic after all. But you see him squeegee when he's happy with the gap that he's got at the top. He's got no gaps on the side. He's going to adjust a little bit, squeegee the rest of that water out. When he is ready, you'll see him do the same thing he did with the front window, which is going to be roll it up, make sure that it goes in between the gasket and the glass itself, the window film. And then he's going to get the bottom, peel the bottom liner away while holding the tint with his hand. You'll see him there he goes. He's going to hold the tint. He's going to roll the window up. And he's just going to kind of pull the liner down and away after he puts a little more soapy water on there. Soapy water's your friend. Holds the tint, pulls the liner away real careful like. Just drops that on the ground, a little bit more in between the adhesive. Then you can see, look at this GeoShield film, this professional quality film is so good. You can really kind of manhandle that thing. He's going to put his hard card in there so that he can get that gasket away from that 2023 Can-Am Defender that seems to be tighter than previous years. And he can slip that window tint down in there. You'll see him, it's not necessarily the easiest thing. It's not very difficult, not necessarily a big deal because all that tint that's going down in there is not going to be visible at all. But you can see how tight these gaskets are with him, and kind of using a little bit of force just getting that gasket away from the glass so that he can slide the tint down in between the glass and that gasket right there. Once he's got that tint under the on the glass in between the gasket and the glass, you'll see he's using his hands right there just to push it down. Needs a little bit more of a hard card to kind of get it down in there a little bit, just kind of tucking. You see that the film isn't creased. There's a lot of bubbles yet. I mean, everything's got to be squeegeed out yet, but he's going to add a little bit more water just so he doesn't scratch a tint. Make sure he doesn't scratch a tint. Just get those corners in. The corners are one of the more difficult aspects of this, but once you do this and you try, you'll be pretty surprised at how easy this whole situation is. And now he's using his hands, so he's got the tint positioned. It moved around a little bit on him, so he's just going to make sure that his sides are, again, no gaps. Top is going to be good. It's anchored down the top, so he doesn't worry about that leaving. But now he's tucked the rest of the film in. He's going to tuck it in the side with his hand right there. Brings the hard card back and he's tucking it in on the sides. He's just going to use his hand to kind of smooth it all out. Then he's going to come back with some more soapy water right there, and he's going to get his squeegee. He's going to get all the water out in between the glass and the film itself. That's what's going to let the adhesive on the window tin work. It's going to adhere to the glass, so you got to make sure you get all that water out. Again, a lot easier than I'm making it sound. If you've ever squeegeed anything, you're already a professional at doing this. Not nearly as difficult as you think it would be. You can see him roll down the window here and he realizes that this top gap isn't where he likes it, so you can see him slide the window tint a little bit. Even with no water in there, you can still see how it slides a little bit. And that's again why you should be careful when you're rolling your windows down after doing this, even after a couple of days, or again, if it's cold out, you might want to give it a little bit more. In a second here, you're going to see him get rid of, just re-squeegee everything, make sure everything's tight, everything is working. He's going to roll the window up and make sure his gap works. There's no, when the window's all the way up, there's no gaps in between the tint and the gasket so that no light is coming through and everything is fully tinted. He's just going to get rid of the rest of the soapy water used for lubrication on the outside of that tint, and there you go. Your rear roll-up window is done and tinted. All right, and here is the final window. This isn't edited together in order, but you'll see them unroll it. You can see it's still wet. We use soapy water when we're cutting these things and shipping and things, but they might be dry by the time it gets Don't worry about it. You're going to add a lot of soapy water anyways. You can see the roll down rear window on the driver's rear door is done because you just saw that, but here you go. He's going to match up and make sure he's got the lining facing him again, so he makes sure he's got the correct window tint. Remember, if the lining's facing you, it means the adhesive is facing you. The tint goes on the outside, the line goes on the outside. He's just going to put the tint right there, and he's going to tack it down. He's going to anchor it, is what it's called, to the window film, to the window itself, so that you can transfer it over after removing the white back, the clear backing on it. He's going to get his window wet. I didn't edit this part out. I apologize for that. So you're going to have to sit here for a little bit more and watch the window cleaning razor blade master, Travis from Mr. Detail. Mr. Detail himself clean with a razor blade a window a couple of times, as well as a scrubby pad, and Mr. Detail should probably buy stock in soapy water. If that's a thing anybody sells stock in, let me know. I want to point out at how good he is getting in between the gaskets and the glass itself with that razor blade. Again, you want to make sure you're getting any kind of contaminants out, whatever possible. If you have not a brand new machine, it's been in the dirt, it's been in the water, it's been in the mud, it's been in whatever, clean, clean, clean. Power wash your whole machine. When you're done power washing, clean it some more. And then when you go to tint, take about 3 or 4 laps around each piece of glass and clean it again. It's not going to help to clean the inside, help to clean the outside. We like to have clean outsides when we do installs, because then you can see if there's any contaminants or dirt. You can see he just pulled the clear liner off of that piece. So the adhesive is facing him now, and he's going to try and not touch the adhesive side that he just sprayed with soapy water. He's going to flip it around. He's going to smack that window tint right on that glass right there. He's going to get it underneath the gaskets and get it all aligned to where it has to go. On these fixed windows that do not roll down, it is extremely easy to do, but he's going to slide it to where he needs to, because he's got that soapy water in between the film, the adhesive, and the glass, and that'll allow him to do it. He's bringing his hard card back, and he's going to tuck his hard card in between the window film and the gasket on the bottom. Again, these 2023s, the window gaskets on the bottom seem to be a little stiffer, I would say, than most. So you're going to need some sort of tool, some sort of plastic tool that won't scratch window tint to slide in between there, and then you'll be able to slide the tint down underneath the gasket. You can see him lining up on the top here. Just make sure he's got his top correct, because then it'll help him line up and tuck the sides as well as the bottom pieces. He's going to lubricate the outside of the window film with a soapy water, and then he's just going to squeegee all out. That soapy water on the outside, like I said, is just a lubricant. Just want to reiterate that. Remember, lubricant and clean. And then he's just going to squeegee all the water out that's in between the window film adhesive and the glass itself. And at this point, he's going to check his cell phone, but he's got to make sure that everything's lined up. You got your gaskets all correct, and then you get all the water out of there that you can. And at this point, you're looking like you've got a tinted rear door. All right, and when he gets done with this final squeegee here, what I'm going to do is zoom in on this window, and I'm going to show you that there's no gaps, there's no light coming through, there's no contamination. It's a perfect window tint job, something that you can do too if you buy a kit from UtvWindowTint.com, where it'll be all pre-cut and easy to fit for you. And that'll about wrap it up for us today. I want to give a shout out to our friends at Hexco Motorsports in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. They are a great BRP dealer for all your Can-Am Defender needs. And then lastly, of course, my contact info, my cell phone is 920-375-1360, or you can email me at chad@utvwindowtint.com. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope you